Hey guys, so I know that this probably looks a little insane, and I do apologize, but the words are the takeaway here, not the background or my crazy studio hair right now. Um, when it comes to advanced production, and keep in mind that this course that you're about to dive into, this is advanced production um, while watching somebody produce. This is not 30 tips to rattle off real quick to make you great. That can be helpful, but that's one side of this. The other side of it that most people oftentimes don't show you because it's a lot dirtier is what I'm about to show you. Advanced production while making a song. It's slower. It's a lot less nice looking. However, um, unlike the here's 30 tips in 15 minutes that can really advance your production skills, that's very subjective based on what you're doing. This will help you understand more so the thought, and if you can understand the thought of what I'm showing you here and what I'm doing, you can see that there's a lot more of a confidence in it's just been 15 years and I know my stuff, as opposed to, well, here's 30 ideas that you may or may not be able to use based on the kind of music that you create, and kind of scooching you ahead in a not correct way. So it's kind of hard to explain, but I hope you guys understand that this course coming up is an attempt to reflect maturity through simplicity. And what I mean by that is, unlike the endless tips that are out there online, and a lot of them I don't even use, um, I want you to understand that it all starts with where you start. So, there's a confidence in just picking one good kick sample. There's a confidence in saying, I'm going to stick with steel drums as my lead instrument. Some tracks I layer underneath them, some tracks I don't. Um, there's a toolbox, okay? And that toolbox does not have to have everything under the sun in it. And I think that's one of the biggest things that a lot of people kind of get weird about when they're first learning to produce, is that, like, well, I don't have every plugin under the sun. You don't need every plugin under the sun. You just need the right ones. And if you like what I do and you like my school of thought, I'm about to directly show you. But my school of thought, I think, will be kind of shocking to a lot of people because it's easy to grasp. There's simplicity in it. It doesn't overthink. It takes what has already been created. For example, a 3-chord harmony, 3 chords. So let's just say, for example, A, D, E. So, A D D D D E E E E E E E E A D D D D E E. So it takes that, and instead of realizing, man, that's kind of like simple, it's kind of poppy, I better, just for my own ego's sake and so people think good of me, I better muck that up and I better make it complicated. So let me take another chord progression in the key of A major, and let me rearrange it, and then let me go back to my poppy chord progression and take my complicated chord progression, and let me cram them together and totally frustrate myself and tie my mental and physical energy up into such knots that I become exhausted. And then by the end of the day, I can question if I'm even really cut out to be a producer, or if I should just get a job at the local grocery store. Don't do that to yourself. Let the track be what it is. And you don't need 3 different kicks to have a strong kick. You don't need 30 different layers for a lead. It's not to say that any of that stuff is wrong. It's just, I in my school of thought, don't often find a use for that, especially the layering of the kick thing. I mean, you'll see in this course, I show you how to get armed with the right sounds, preset packs, synths, and plugins, so that you have everything you need, and things like layering isn't such a hassle. It's more of a quick fun that you add in. Is it working? Yes. Keep it. Lower it in the mix. Or you add in. Is it working? I don't know. Okay, tinker with it for a minute. Is it working? I'm just not sure. Delete it. Get rid of it. But there's a way to kind of streamline this, but it also allows for creativity and breathing. So a lot of this is kind of talking out of both sides of my mouth. It's streamlined, but you can take your time and be creative. But if you stay with this, you'll understand why. Because unlike a lot of YouTube videos, like I said, and keep referencing, that are like 30 advanced audio production techniques that'll make you great, that stuff is good. And a lot of that stuff is legit, but there's kind of a consumerism or an addiction to information and facts and the 10 different ways that you can, record yourself clapping your hands. Just record yourself clapping your hands and get on with it. So, I guess really what I'm trying to say here is real in the nerd in you, if you will. There's a time and a place to obsess over things like affording the very best speakers that your bank account can buy, and knowing every single way that you can sidechain something, and knowing every single layer combination that works, and understanding every single way that every subgenre of EDM is made, and all that nerdy stuff. And then there's time to just realize what I really want to do is get down to the business of making music. There's 3,000 tips. I probably only use 10 of them, but unlike most of my peers, I'm actually completing music, putting it out, getting it distributed, and using it to show to people, which then builds a fan base that allows me to do a lot of other things. So, you can kind of decide for yourself, but I see a lot of producers who never get a fan base and never really do much of anything, but they know every trick in the book. But it's weird. They know every trick in the book, but they don't even complete a song. That makes no sense to me. You're way better off following the school of thought that I'm about to show you and actually completing a song, dare I even say an album within this year, which is totally doable with the system that I create. I made an album in about 15 days. I did a track a day for 15 days. So is everything perfect? No, but we're getting to the end result and the end goal, and I think that's the important thing here that most people never get to. It's like, it's great that you have 30 different reverb plugins and you know how to use every single one to a T, and you really understand how to design your own sounds, and you've had fun all day, literally wasting 8 hours just layering sounds on sounds. But like, did you make a track? And this is just my school of thought, and I'm not even necessarily saying that the things that I'm speaking against in this video are wrong forevermore. They're not. It's just, it's about clarity, and it's about getting rid of the roadblocks that keep you down. And I think addiction to facts, addiction to tips and tricks, and addiction to learning and knowing every single one holds more people back than they even realize to an end goal of making music. You don't need every trick in the book, and you certainly don't need to memorize every trick in the book to make music. Just get on with making music. You can nerd out later. So with that said, guys, move on to the next video for this course. Schming hong.